Yo, what is going on, homies? It's your boy Stumped, back for another OPTC video. And in today's video, we're talking about Treasure Map vs Jinbe that is about to drop in about a day's time on OPTC Global, and taking a look at some teams and some preparation guide for you guys to take out Treasure Map Jinbe on New World. So, the new character that is coming to OPTC Global is a Psi Jinbe. He's very, very good. 7 turns of paralysis and special bind reduction. And if your HP is full, he boosts the type effects of Strength, Psi, and Int characters by 2 times. So 2 times color affinity, basically built for Luffy and Sanji, but can also work very, very well with Int characters as well. His Captain ability reduces Despair duration by 1 turn, as well as being 3.5 to Psi, Strength, and Int, which is pretty good for a free-to-play player. He's got 60 cost, the standard stuff from Treasure Map units. And there are some pretty good boosters. So if you guys did some summons, you guys hopefully got your hands on Aladdin and Mistems. I actually did a 30-gem multi on stream and managed to pick up this Mistems here. So I didn't include him in my teams, but I will sort of walk through what I'm planning to do. So the 1.5 times boosters are the 3 new legends. We've got 1.35 times boosters in Jinbe, the old pudding. We've got Pedro, the free-to-play units, the new batch. We've got Capone, the Colosseum Okiku, Clash Brook. We've got PvP Usopp here, and then we have a whole bunch of other characters that are boosted as well. Now, the new story character is actually boosted. That's pretty cool. But we have a whole bunch of 1.2 times boosters here, as well as a bunch of 1.1s. But I have built my teams already, so let's hop over to the Treasure Map crew prep, and let's start by talking about the first little mini-boss. So the first mini-boss is a Nami unit. She is a Int unit, and the recommended character they recommend for this is to bring Carrot, as Carrot can remove bind. We get 6 turns of bind, so that'll go down to obviously like 3 turns with sockets, and then there's delay immunity. So very simply, we are just going to use Carrot as our leader. She's a 1.35 times booster. She'll work very, very well, and then we can just basically fill the rest of the team out with whatever we want. So we've got the new rare recruit Nami here. She's color affinity. We've got a chain lock with Big Mom. We've got Boa here just because, and then we've got an attack booster with Vivi. So Nami seems like she's probably the easiest of all the mini bosses. I don't think she'll see too many issues. What you could do actually, if you want to make things a lot faster as well, which I actually might change to as well, is actually using Eneru on this team. That way you can just sort of blast through with his specials. Or once you get to the end, just pop the special and drop him down. I always like to use a wave clearing special on the second last stage, because that's where all of the enemies are. So that could also work for you guys as well. On to the next mini boss now. We come up against Brook. Now Brook is a Dex unit, but I think does he turn into a Psi unit? No, so I think he's a Psi unit who turns into a Dex unit. So the recommended character for this is Chopper. Chopper's the free-to-play unit that came out with the face-off, just like Carrot. On the preemptive on Battle 5, you're going to get a full board of empty orbs. We have 3 turns of paralysis, and there is a chain lock multiplier for 5 turns as well. Once you defeat Chopper, he does 20,000 damage. So you do need to be mindful of that. I actually didn't see that when I was doing that, but there is a nice cheeky way around it. Obviously, we are going to be using our boy Chopper as our captain. He's a 3 times strength booster, as his whole team is strength based. He also does attack buff as well as removing 3 turns of paralysis, which is very, very handy. I've just thrown Dogstorm on this team. He's just a higher attack booster. Yeah, basically just doubles strength and size attack. You don't really need him. He's just here just because he's a free-to-play unit. I just sort of filled out the rest of this team with free-to-play units just to show you guys that you don't need to be summoning to be able to put these teams together. So I do have Clash Jinbe here, his 2 times color affinity. I have Big Mom here as well. She's just, again, another very good free-to-play unit. And then finally, I do have Beach. Now, Beach is the only one that's not free-to-play on this team, but he removes the chain lock as well as healing us and giving us the threshold. So when Brook does die, and he does throw back that 20,000 damage, we're not going to worry about it because we have that threshold cut with Beach. Now, does Beach actually have... Nah, so Beach doesn't. Let's say if Beach has a better captain ability, I'll put him up there. But this team should work very, very well. I don't see it having too many issues. Again, you could replace Dogstorm with literally anyone that has... it's like an orb booster, I guess, is probably the only thing that we're missing on this particular team. You could easily just chuck on someone like... this Neko, I guess. What's an attack booster? You could use the Fuji and Akainu unit. You could easily use Zoro as well to make things a little bit quicker. Just to blast your way through the earlier stages as well. So, which I actually think I might do. Just to make the runs just a little bit faster. Especially in the early stages. On to the next mini-boss against Chopper is a strength unit, and I think he turns into an int unit. So bringing characters that are Psi are going to be much more beneficial. The recommended characters are Sanji and Nami. Unfortunately, they are a 1.1 times booster though, which is a little bit annoying. And then the Clash Brook. So once you get to the Chopper unit, he is going to put up. He's going to give you unfavorable slots, stun our middle row, special bind our bottom row for 5 turns, and then have defense down immunity. So we're going to be using Brook as our captain for this. He is a free spirit booster for 3 times, as well as making ink slots matching, which is pretty good, as I think they give you unfavorable slots. So that way you can actually just get a full board of orbs if you are running a Psi team. But what I have on this particular team, I've actually put Treasure Map Shanks. Treasure Map Shanks is going to give us like roll out orbs and give us tap timing, which is very handy. We have an orb booster with this ace for our full free spirit team. We have Sanji here, purely just so we can use the pudding support so we can remove the stun. Brook's going to remove the special bind, delay, and give a conditional. And then finally, the Luffy can be our attack booster for our Psi units. It's just very, very simple. So this whole team, again, the whole free-to-play team, besides the pudding support. If you don't have this pudding support, you could easily replace Sanji with Nami and Sanji. I've just got him here just because, just a little bit of extra points to literally doing the exact same thing. On to the next fight against Carrot. Carrot is the next mini-boss. The recommended characters for this are Capone and the Usopp, because she makes all slots unfavorable. She gives you 90% of 5 turns of attack down, and then 5 turns of reduced damage taken, so the Rainbow Shield, and then has defense down immunity. So with this Usopp can remove attack down for 5 turns, and then pairing him up with the new Kiku, the Colosseum Kiku, she can also remove 5 turns of damage reduction. She's also a nice cheeky orb booster for us as well. So we can get an orb booster for this entire team, as this whole team is shooter and driven. We've literally just got this pudding on here because she's a 1.35 times booster. She's free to play as well. And then we've got the free to play Clash Kid as well, so he can give us cooldowns. He starts with his special, and he can just wave clear 2 stages for us as well. Finally, we are using Beej as our captain. He is a shooter and a driven captain, and obviously he's the attack booster for this team as well, as making Psi and in orbs matching, which is very, very handy, as Carrot actually gives you unfavorable slots. And for this particular team, it means that we're actually going to have a slot on our, Beej, and on our pudding, which is what we actually want when we are taking down Carrot, as she is a Psi unit. So those 2 units are going to be hitting very, very hard. Pudding actually just gives us a full board of orbs with her special anyway, but again, she's just here for the 1.35 times boost. You probably won't even need her special till the later stages. Onto the final boss against Jinbe. Jinbe is actually going to turn into a Dex unit, which means strength units are going to be very, very handy. Now, they recommend, obviously, Luffy Sanji is the new legend, and then bringing the 3 treasure map boosters. Of course, they're going to do that because that's what they're there for. On Battle 4, we get full board of block orbs, 2 turns of paralysis, and 5 turns of attack down. So easy way to get around the paralysis, obviously, is just to switch with our Luffy and Sanji's, and then we can use one of our Luffy Sanji specials to remove all of the block orbs, give ourselves recovery orbs, and a full board that's completely matching. They're also an attack booster too, which is great. To get around the attack down with this particular team, I do have this Perispero. So this Perispero obviously can be replaced with the Usopp if you don't have him, but he was a free-to-play unit as well, who removes 4 turns of the attack down. And then with the Neko support, we can actually remove another 2 turns of attack down as well. So that's the 5 turns of attack down gone. Luffy Sanji's removing the block orbs and giving us an attack buff and the paralysis as well, which is great. On stage 5, though, we are going to get 4 turns of bind on our captains, which is annoying because we can't use the Luffy Sanji switch ability. We get chain multiply growth rate at 0.1 for 3 turns. We get defense up, well, the enemy puts up 2,000 defense up for 5 turns, and they're immune to delay. So on the final stage, basically with this particular team comp, I do have Perispero. We do want to be a strength variation of our Luffy or Sanji on the final stage, as that way we can use Perispero to remove 4 turns of the defense up. And with the support of Halloween Ace, we can actually remove all of the bind, as it's only 4 turns of bind. With Sockets, it goes down to 1, and we can easily remove the rest of that with Halloween Ace. Unfortunately, with this particular team build, I don't have any way to get around the chain growth multiplier, but it's really not that big of a deal, as with the Germa special, just giving all of our red characters a massive double attack, or would probably use the friend Luffy Sanji for the higher attack boost, but basically getting 2 times color affinity, a 1.1 times chain boost, doesn't really matter about the reduction because we are getting that already big buff from the Sweet Generals anyway. Finally, on this team, we have finishing off with Germa. Germa's here because they're 1.5 times booster. It just makes sense to put them here so we can get more points. Now, with this team, I'm not sure the way the preemptive works, giving the 5 turns of defense up. Hopefully that'll go down to 4 turns. That's why Perispero can be very, very good here. But you could replace Perispero on this team with another character that removes defense up. Off the top of my head, I'm thinking of this Robin. So this Robin can remove 5 turns of defense down. You could easily slap her on the team, as Luffy Sanji obviously is a rainbow booster, but Perispero being obviously the best choice for this works very, very well. You could also use this Pedro as well. He removes defense up by 4 turns as well, and then bring someone else for the attack down like the Usopp from the other team, but then you need to replace the attack down over there. And I think there is another summertime unit. I think Viola's boosted, so you could use her as well. But there is also this Frankie as well. He removes it by 3 turns, and he could just easily stall a turn there to remove that. Easy peasy. So that's the team that I've built for Jinbe. It should work very, very well for a very long time. I don't see it having any issues. And as you can see, it's a 6.15 booster before our friend captain and the bird and stuff like that. All of these teams have very high points. They are all upwards of your 2 point something mark, which is really, really handy. Now, these 2 teams obviously could have higher points, but to make it quicker, the Zora and the Enel is going to help us out quite a lot. So moving into the Intrusion battle now. In the Intrusion, we come up against Sanji and Pudding. So against Sanji and Pudding, their preemptive on stage 1 is going to give strength and side characters cooldown. And the recommended characters obviously being all of the strength units as well. Because they are a dex unit, obviously bringing a full strength team is going to work very, very well. But on stage 2, they're going to change all their slots into empty, give us 3 turns of burn, and then delay immunity. And then on the final stage, they put 5 turns of despair on our captains. They reduce the special limit to 1 for 3 turns, and then they reduce damage above 1000 for 99 turns, which is very, very annoying to get around, to be honest. So you can only use 3 specials for 1 turn. You've got the threshold, which is going to be a bit finicky. So with this team, you could easily do this and run the Sweet Generals as leader. That could easily work just to remove the despair completely. But with the despair for this particular team, I'm actually using Luffy Sanji as my captain, as despair is going to go down to 5 turns, from 5 turns down to 2 turns, and we can, I did not mean to press that button. We can easily remove the despair, where is it? We can easily remove the despair with the support of Rayleigh. So the support of Rayleigh on Luffy Sanji is going to remove the other turns of despair, easy peasy. Then we've got the Sweet Generals for their amazing special, basically just doing everything for us. Perispero here is going to remove the threshold, which is great. Again, you could probably replace him with the Robin or like the Carrot or something like that. And then finally, I've got Nami on this team just for color affinity. She also removes despair as well. It's another option for you to remove despair if you are missing the Sweet Generals. And she also gives color affinity and burn removal as well, which is very, very handy. With her double special, you can use her twice. I've also got the the chopper support to remove an extra turn of threshold in case that threshold is 5 turns. But because I actually did manage to pull this Mistims unit, I will be slotting Mistims in on this particular team. I'll be putting Mistims in the slot where our girl Nami is. What am I doing here? So I will be doing something like this, putting the Mistims here, and then I will most likely be taking off the Perispero, putting the Perispero onto the Sweet Generals unit, and then bringing a different unit like Carrot to actually remove the rest of the threshold, as Carrot removes 3 turns of threshold. So if you have Perispero as well, and you are looking for a spot and you sort of like only pulled Mistims like I did and not some of the other boosters, this is another sort of team comp for you guys that could work very, very well. You could also use this Pedro on Carrot as well to remove the despair as well. That's another option for you there. And then you could just like bring a bigger stat booster for the Luffy Sanji and not worry about the despair that way. So they're my teams for the upcoming treasure map against our boy Jinbe. They should work for a very, very long time. I don't see them having too many issues. And obviously, units are very replaceable. Like on this particular team, Germa is literally just here as a point booster. Like 1.5 is just nothing to slouch at. But you could easily bring him on a different sort of team build to sort of make things a bit quicker for you. And then with this particular team, I would just highly recommend bringing like a friend Sweet Generals or a friend Luffy Sanji if you are missing them, just to make things a little bit easier. The Germa friend is probably going to be the best bet. And then for this, bringing a friend Luffy Sanji is going to be your best bet. But as you can kind of see, the rest of the teams, besides my final teams, are very free-to-play friendly. They don't really require too much. Besides, obviously, the new units of Nami and Beach. But Nami is very, very replaceable on this particular team. She's just here again because she's a high point booster. And on this team, Beach is probably very replaceable as well. You could probably just, like, honestly blast your way through with the Zoro special on the final stage. Easy clap that. With this particular team, it is completely free to play, besides the pudding support. This particular team here, besides Beige, this whole team is free to play as well. But you could easily run this Usopp as actual leader, as his captain ability is a... Or actually, no, you couldn't. He's a strength booster. You could easily run, I think, you could easily run this, like, pudding as leader, or you could actually run this, probably this Kiku. Nah, everyone just does, like, a whole bunch of strength stuff. You could run this kid. Like, this kid could easily be your leader for a striker shooter leader. And then if you don't have Beige, honestly, and you got those 50 coins, I would definitely pick him up from the shop too, though. So that's another option for you guys. But they're my teams, as I mentioned. That's enough about that. Good luck in the treasure map runs, guys. Let me know what level you guys are sort of aiming for. And if you did enjoy this one or helped you out, make sure to go down there and belt that like button. And if you're new to the channel as well, consider hitting that big red subscribe button as well. But guys, most importantly, wherever you are in this beautiful world, make sure to enjoy the rest of your day. As always, I thank you guys for watching, and I will catch you all in the next one. Lights!